So again, welcome to Chemistry 101. I just wanted to spend a little bit of time going through the syllabus so we can go ahead and get started on the first day. The first thing I want to bring your attention to is our lecture schedule. So we're going to have lecture 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and you have the room information here. We'll also be having a mandatory problem session once a week. So on Fridays for 1 hour, we'll work some problems together. And then we have lab twice a week for an hour and a half on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If we scroll down and look at the sidebar here, you have all of my contact information. So the best way to contact me is through email. I usually respond within a few hours. And I also have my phone number there, but again, email is the best way to reach me. We have a class Facebook group, so I'll send you all an invite, but if you want to just click on the link. You'll notice that throughout our syllabus we have a lot of links, so you already have everything there for you. So please join our Facebook group. Another important thing, my office hours. So I have office hours almost every day of the week. And here are the times. There's 1 day a week that I will be having online office hours. So I'll still be in my office if you want to come see me in person. But if you commute to campus or you're not on campus every day, you can also just come to my online office hours. So if you think you're going to use this, I suggest going ahead and downloading the program. So you have a link to the download here. And then whenever you want to log into our office hours, you just click on the link and you're in our office hours. All right. If you find that your schedule doesn't allow you to come to my office hours, that's completely okay. Just send me an email, usually a full 24 hours in advance, and we can figure out a good time for us to meet. So plenty of opportunities to come in and get some help, right? I'll leave the rest of this page for you to read, but it's just a little bit more about why we're learning chemistry in this particular class. How does it apply to what you're going to do in the future? A little bit more about my teaching philosophy is right here, so you guys can read that on your own time. On the next page, we have just course description, what you'll need for the class. Prerequisites are here, so just make sure that you've met those prerequisites because they are important for being able to do some of the work in this class. So what you'll need, I broke this into 2 categories. We have what you'll need for lecture and then also what you'll need for lab. Okay, so I have the textbook information here, and as long as it's the 4th edition, you're welcome to buy it used or borrow it from someone else. The one thing that you will need to get if you don't buy the bundle that's in the bookstore, so the bundle has the textbook and we're going to be doing online homework, so it also has that included. If you already have the textbook or you buy it used, you can always buy the online homework Mastering Chemistry on its own. Or if you don't want to have the physical textbook and you just want an electronic copy, you can get the e-text with the Mastering Chemistry for $110. So you have lots of options. Feel free to email me or post on our Facebook group if you have any questions about that. In terms of Mastering Chemistry, we have our login information here on the left. So this is our login for this class. And again, you can click on any of these links and go ahead and create your login and all of that. So why don't we actually look at Mastering Chemistry just so we can get a better idea of what to look for. All right, so once you've logged in to Mastering Chemistry and created your account, you'll see something that looks like this. So this is the course home and it has our calendar. You can also click on assignments. And so everything is organized by day. And what you'll do is I would just check this a few times a week to make sure you know when your next assignment is going to be due. And if you just put your cursor over the assignment, it tells you when it's available, it tells you when the due date is. So you have all of that information there. So our first assignment is going to be due the Friday of the first week of classes. And this is just going to be kind of an introductory lesson to teach you how to use Mastering Chemistry. So those are the main tools you need. Just the course home and assignments. And if you have questions as we go along, feel free to ask. Okay, so to continue with things that you need for lecture, another thing you're going to need is a non-programmable scientific calculator. So not the $150 calculators, just a simple $15 to $20 calculator. So you want to make sure it has exponents and logarithms, but you don't need an expensive calculator for this class. The next thing you'll do, and will also be a part of your checklist as a reminder, is you want to sign up for a TED-Ed account. And the link is here. So some of the lessons in our class are going to be what we call flipped lessons, where you're going to watch a video lecture at home and answer some short follow-up questions. And then that allows us to have more time in class to really work through problems. So to get credit for these, you need to make sure you log into your TED-Ed account each time. All right, so for lab, we have a few items that you need as well. The first thing is the laboratory manual. The second is the lab safety packet. So the laboratory manual has most of the exercises, the experiments we're going to be doing, but the lab safety packet also has additional exercises. So you do need both items, and those are available in the bookstore. Safety goggles with splash protection. So if you're wondering what type of goggles to get, I have a picture, so an example here. If they're the huge goggles that are a little bit uncomfortable, those are probably the right ones. So you can get them in the bookstore, or if you want, you can also just go to Home Depot and grab a pair there. So as long as they have the splash protection, then they're fine. We'll talk about this more on the first day of lab, but you need to wear closed-toed shoes every time you come to lab. You're also welcome to bring a small towel or a pot holder for when we're handling things that are warm. A lab coat or apron is optional. You shouldn't really need it for this lab, but if you want to, you're welcome to bring it. Another thing that I did not list that is optional is if you want to buy gloves. If you have sensitive skin or break out easily, you're more than welcome to bring gloves to lab, but I don't think you'll need them. Right? I have pictures of our textbook at the bottom, the lab manual, and the lab safety packet, so that way when you go into the bookstore, you know what you're looking for. All right, in terms of grading, so I won't go into a lot of detail because you have some paragraphs here that go into detail about how you're going to be graded, but why don't we just look at the pie chart? So you are going to have 4 exams over the course of the semester, and when we get to the lecture schedule, I'll point those out. So 3 of those 4 exams will be counted. I'll drop your lowest one. So 10% of your grade is going to be devoted to lecture quizzes. So these will be unannounced quizzes, but just based on material and maybe the lecture before or the flipped lesson, maybe just a few questions that pertain to that. Homework is going to be on mastering chemistry. Laboratory is going to be worth 20% of your grade. So if you think about it, it's a pretty significant part of your grade. So if you do really well in lab, it should always be a boost to your grade. We're going to have 2 different unit exams that are worth 15% each of your grade. I want you to also notice that you get some points for participation. So participation in class, actually working in groups and asking questions and answering questions, but also your preparation for coming into class will be a part of your participation. So the TED-Ed lessons that I post, those are important. And even though it's only 2%, it's a very small percentage of your grade, it actually, I think, makes a much bigger impact. Because if you're actively participating and preparing for class, that will affect your grade overall. So our final exam is going to just be another unit exam. So the first unit exam, 15% of your grade, and then the final exam, which will be a unit exam, is worth 15% of your grade. And we can talk more about this if you have questions on the first day. Okay. Here I have some tips for success. So things to help you get off to a good start and things that will help you throughout the semester to really do well in this class. I won't go into a lot of detail, but you can read through this on your own. But one thing I'd like to stress is attend office hours. So office hours are your time where I'm available in my office to answer whatever questions you like. We can go over homework problems. We can go over problem set problems. We can go over just concepts from lecture in general, whatever you like. You can come in by yourself. If you're working with a group of people, you can come in. But I can't stress enough to come in at the very beginning of the semester. If you're unsure about something, don't let it build, because we'll learn that chemistry is a cumulative subject. So if things at the beginning are not making sense, it just continues to build. So come see me. We have the tutor center. There's free chemistry tutoring. So I want to stress again, it's free. The schedule, if you just click on the link, you can look at the schedule, but you have all these resources available to you to help you succeed. So the next thing is our lecture schedule. So this is tentative. We will sometimes fall a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, but this gives you at least a general idea of what we're going to be doing each day, and hopefully this will help you prepare. You know what to read, you know what we're going to be going over in class. So we have the chapter and the topic. Also, we have the textbook problems. So these are actually the exact same problems that are assigned on Mastering Chemistry. But if you want to go through the problems on just a sheet of paper before and work through the problems and then go on to Mastering Chemistry, that's one way to do it. Okay. The ones that are highlighted in red are going to be ones that you're actually going to physically write out and turn in. So when we get to our organic chemistry section, it's a little bit harder to input some of the answers in Mastering Chemistry. So we're just going to write those out on paper and turn them in. Okay, so make sure you're paying close attention to the schedule and when exams are coming up. Okay, so the next thing is, instead of using Blackboard, we're actually going to use a program called Canvas. So let's take a look at that. So here's what Canvas looks like when you log in. I will send an email invite to everyone. So once you log in, you have your home page. The most important sections are, I'll go to modules first because that's the one you're probably going to use the most. And it has everything basically organized by week. So for example, if you want to get a head start on assignments for the first week, we have these 3 TED Ed lessons that you're going to be completing for our second lecture. But every week you'll have these posted, and then under files we have everything organized with these folders. So really those are the main tabs you need to know in Canvas. If I add anything else in, we'll talk about them as we go along. So here at the bottom I have some important dates. So including our final exam, that's something I would go ahead and mark in your calendar, and a few other important dates. Okay. The next is our lab schedule. So we have what we're going to be doing on each day, and if it's in our lab manual, it gives you a starting page. If you see the asterisk, that means you're going to find it in our lab safety packet. Okay, so we'll talk about this more on the first day of lab, but you're going to be preparing by doing, usually there's a pre-lab exercise that you'll be doing for anything that's in the lab manual, and that's something you want to prepare and read through before you come to class. On the last page, I have just a lot of resources available to you, and just remember that all of these are here to help you be successful, so please take advantage of those. And the last thing I want to just briefly mention is our classroom learning environment. And you can go ahead and read through this, but I just want to stress that the ability of all the people around you to be successful really depends on our classroom environment. So just a reminder, be respectful, be considerate of the people around you, that way they can get the most out of our classroom environment.